You clicked on this video because you're trying to level up your trading fast. I'm not going to lecture you with some recycled strategy breakdown or textbook info. I'm giving you real tactical stuff that actually improves execution, the stuff most people ignore. Here's what we're breaking down. 5 techniques that can improve your trading edge by 150%. What to do in real time, not just post-trade. How storytelling helps you become a sniper in the market. Let's get into it. Section 1. Think in scenes, not summaries. Most traders think in summaries. I made X amount on this setup, but summaries don't help you evolve. What makes or breaks a trade is the micro moment, the hesitation, the second guess, the emotional spiral. Start writing down the exact moment you enter and exit. What were you seeing? What were you thinking? What emotion was behind the click? Treat each trade like a story. Where were you? What were you doing? What was in your head before you hit send? There was a day in April I was watching PLTR push toward that key $100 level. It had been building strength all week. Momentum, volume, flow, everything lined up. This is one of my setups. I had the level mapped, the plan in place, but when the moment came, I froze. Why? Because earlier that morning, I had taken a red trade on a different breakout that failed. Even though I told myself I was good, mentally, I wasn't. I was carrying doubt, carrying hesitation. My internal monologue was, what if this is another fake out? Don't be dumb, you just lost. Wait, be safe. So I sat there. I watched BLTR break clean through 100 and I didn't move. I watched it go +5, +7, +9, and I was still just sitting there. And that was the pain. Not the loss, the inaction. Watching it run exactly how I prepared for, but being too stuck in my own head to execute. By the time I thought about jumping in, it was already gone. The risk reward was gone, the premiums were juiced, and all I could do was watch it go without me. That moment stuck with me. So what did I ignore? I ignored that the setup had nothing to do with my earlier loss. This wasn't the same ticker, it wasn't the same structure, but I treated it like it was because I let my last loss leak into my current moment. I ignored my own preparation, ignored the plan I had made with a clear head because I let hesitation override execution. How long did it take to fix that behavior? It didn't take months. It took a few weeks of intentionally revisiting the scenario. I kept breaking it down. What I saw, what I thought, what I didn't do. I started logging my internal dialogue before every trade. Am I clear-headed? Am I reacting to something that already happened? Or am I locked into this moment? Doing that over and over, it helped me close the gap between what I planned to do and what I actually executed. With time, the hesitation faded. I started trusting what I saw, not what I feared. And eventually, I stopped needing every trade to be perfect. I just needed to be present and prepared. This sounds dumb, but it works. Before each trade, literally state where you are and what you're doing. I'm at my desk, QQQs at pre-market highs, I'm watching 5-minute and 15-minute charts. Why does this matter? You can't enter flow if your brain is scattered. If you're half on your phone, half watching 5 tickers, half thinking about the last loss, you're not here. You're operating on mental autopilot, and autopilot gets expensive fast. Saying it or writing it brings your attention to the present moment. This small step centers you. It forces your attention onto this moment. This setup, this screen, not the noise. This is your reset button. Every trader has moments where their head spins. Maybe you just fumbled the trade. Maybe you're tilted. Maybe you're just overstimulated from pre-market hype. Stating your location plus action out loud is a way to ground yourself again before you act. Build a ritual before the open. Coffee, chart review, breath work, whatever works. Say your trade environment out loud before you trade. What's your actual routine before market open? I'm up early, usually around 5 a.m. Pacific. The first thing I do is nothing. I sit in silence and meditate for 30 minutes. No charts, no news, no stimulation, just breath work and stillness. It clears my head, centers my emotions, and gives me control over my state before the market ever gets a chance to. By 6 a.m., I'm at the screens. I'll check futures, overnight levels, pre-market movers, macro headlines. Then I start marking levels on SPX and TQQ and names with flow or structure. I keep it quiet. No music, no Discord, no noise, just me and the screen. I'm not trying to predict the day, I'm trying to get oriented. Once levels are drawn, I'll journal my initial read. SPX gapped up into a hard resistance, 5-minute range building, TQQ weaker, watching Meta and Nvidia at key levels. Then I write down what I want to see before I trade, what I don't want to do. Example, don't force a first 5-minute breakout. That note to self stuff is huge. It creates accountability before the emotion hits. Did you have to trial and error it? 100%. In the beginning, I used to roll out of bed and open my laptop at 6:28 a.m. No prep, no structure, just vibes and caffeine, and I paid for that. I'd force the first move I saw, get chopped, chase, no clarity, no patience. Eventually I realized you can't show up like a pro if you prepare like an amateur. So I tested different flows. Some mornings were too slow, some were too packed. Over time I found that simplicity worked best. Less noise, more intention. Now it's dialed in. Same rhythm every day. There's 2 things most people don't talk about. I write to myself like I'm coaching someone else. Before the open, I'll literally write, you know your levels. Wait wait for confirmation. Don't be reactive. Focus on quality. It might sound cheesy, but it helps distance emotion. It's like separating the trader from the inner voice. I reread one trade review from a past journal before every session. Sometimes it's a win, sometimes it's a painful loss, but it reminds me that I've learned what patterns show up and what to avoid. The memory jog keeps me sharp. Most bad trades don't come from bad setups. They come from unchecked thoughts. If this hits, I'll make it back. I'm due for a win. I missed the first move already. These are the thoughts that sabotage you. Log your pre-trade thoughts in your journal or aloud. Even one sentence is enough. You'll start to spot patterns. Identify the 3 to 5 most common emotional traps you fall into. These are the voices that show up when you're the most vulnerable. Give them names to help identify them. It was a Friday. I was green for the week. Clean execution, small size, solid rhythm. Then I saw a midday SPX push. It was fast and impulsive and completely outside my playbook. And I remember the exact thought I had in my head. If this works, it'll be a sick way to cap off the week. That should have been the red flag. I wasn't thinking in terms of risk, setup, or structure. I was thinking in storyline, how good it would feel to end the week with a banger. But I clicked anyway. Sized heavier than I should have. Didn't journal it, didn't plan it, just clicked. That trade failed within minutes. I gave back 60% of my weekly profit. It was about 100 grand on one trade I never should have been in. But what hurt more than the P&L was what it did to my mental state. Suddenly, I went from calm and locked into reactive and tilted. I ended that week with a red candle on my own discipline chart, all because I listened to a feeling, not a system. So what's the one thought pattern I actively rewired? The one I had to kill was, I have to catch this or I'll miss the whole move. That scarcity mindset used to creep in right as names started moving, especially if I hadn't taken a trade yet that day. I started calling it chase brain. Every time it showed up, I'd literally say, that's chase brain talking. Wait for structure, let it come to you. That little pause bought me space, enough to ask, is this clean or is this emotional? Over time, that one shift saved me from so many forced trades. Saying I was nervous isn't useful. Saying I was refreshing the chart, checking the order book, fingers shaking, that's useful. You can't manage what you can't identify. So stop labeling emotions vaguely. Start describing what they look and feel like. Log the physical symptoms of emotional trading. Your hands are sweaty, posture different, eyes darting between time frames. Write it down. Get familiar with how FOMO, tilt, fear feel in your body. What does each state feel like when it hits? Use this to build internal awareness, which leads to better decision making. You don't fix emotions by ignoring them. You fix them by noticing them faster. So what do I physically do when I'm emotional when trading? When I'm emotional, I can feel it before I even realize I'm off. I'll start leaning in towards the screen, like physically getting closer, like proximity will give me control. I'll start clicking around aimlessly between tickers or different time frames. I stop breathing deep, my breaths get shallow, and I start refreshing the chart even when I know it auto updates. It's subtle, but it's real. Now when I catch myself doing those things, it's my cue. You're not in flow, you're in fight or flight. There was a day I was trading Tesla. I'd already missed a clean move in the morning. It broke out without me while I was watching another name. I felt the frustration creep in. Then around 11:30 a.m., I saw it start to curl again. No setup, no structure, no momentum. But the internal voice said, this is your shot to catch the move you missed. I didn't even sit back and reassess. I entered mid-curl, no plan, just tension and a need to get it back. My hand was literally shaking as I clicked. I remember it. That trade lasted 3 minutes. Instant drawdown, no exit plan, no stop. I closed it red and sat there knowing that was pure emotion, nothing else. Your inner voice is the most powerful trader you'll meet. Just one more. If this doesn't hit, I'm done. This looks good, maybe. These aren't trading signals. These are emotional scripts and they show up more than you think. Journal the actual dialogue your brain throws at you mid-trade. Write it exactly how it sounds in your head. Don't clean it up. Don't intellectualize. Don't filter it. Don't make it sound smart. Make it sound real. If your voice says, bro, just click it, it'll work, write that down. That's the data. You'll start to see patterns, emotional scripts that repeat. They're usually tied into certain emotions: boredom, revenge, tilt, and FOMO. Once you see them, you can challenge them. You go from being controlled by your thoughts to coaching them. I remember this trade on Nvidia. It was midweek, I was flat on the day, no real momentum. The chart looked average, not clean, not terrible, but I was restless, tired of sitting. I wanted something. I literally said out loud, let's just see what happens. The second it left my mouth, I knew I had no edge. No plan, no structure, just pure impulse masked as curiosity. Clicked in, no conviction, no size logic, and sure enough, red trade, instant regret. That phrase, let's just see what happens, became one of my internal red flags after that. What was the phrase that keeps showing up in your trades? For me, it's probably fine. That line is dangerous. It's vague, lazy, and always shows up when I'm unsure but don't want to miss. Now when I hear it, it's a signal to pause. If I can't say with clarity, this is why I'm taking the trade and this is where it's wrong, then I'm not ready. Probably line is a setup for emotional trading disguised as logic. If you treat your trading like a highlight reel, you'll only ever celebrate the wins. But if you treat it like a story, raw, detailed, emotional, you'll uncover what actually moves the needle. Zoom in, log the details, capture the thoughts, track the physical cues. Make each trade a scene, then go edit the scenes. Because this isn't about finding the perfect setup. It's about becoming the version of yourself that executes. If this helped, click the link below. Let's build something real.